Salary negotiations for public servants could take a new twist when the Public Service Union meets with government later this month. Public servants did not accept government's last offer of 2% increase, but General Secretary of the PSU, Thomas Later, says he's optimistic that government will take a step in the right direction.
We'll be meeting with the government on the 28th of May. We will be looking at a few outstanding issues, and one of the major issues is the salary. I'm not sure how that meeting will be concluded, but we would expect to see a movement, a further movement on what was proposed the last time. Well, the last time we met with the government, remember they were looking at a 2% salary increase. We had gotten them to make a movement, and we expect a further movement. We are negotiating, and we are very optimistic that the government will make a movement, and therefore we are not letting any negativity cloud the current situation, since we are confident that we may see a further upward movement. Well, the last time our last proposal was to look at, I think, a 17% salary increase over a three-year period. But since we got to the negotiating table, we have been negotiating, and I don't think we have stuck to that. We have not stuck to that position, since we have gotten benefits or other benefits in a number of other areas, and therefore, based on that, we believe that we can move from our original position. And we have also seen the government moving from its original position of 2%. And therefore, we believe so far that we have been making progress with regard to the negotiations. And our meeting on the 20th, as I said, we expect to see some further progress being made there.
General Secretary of the Dominica Public Service Union, Thomas Later. The Dominica Agricultural, Industrial and Development Bank, the Aid Bank, has announced a significant increase in the value of loan approvals for the first 10 months of its current financial year, which ends June 30th, 2010. Chairman of the Aid Bank, Ambrose Sylvester, says for the 10-month period ending April 2010, the bank has approved loans with a total value of $40.58 million, the highest level ever recorded in 1 year in the history of the 39-year-old institution. According to a statement issued by the bank, this level of approvals is 3 times the $13.51 million of loans approved for the preceding financial year, which ended in June 2009, and surpasses by 15% the value of approvals projected for the current financial year, with 2 months still left to go. The primary sectors which benefited from the loan financing of the bank during the period were tourism, $18.8 million, industry, $18.4 million, student loans, $2.5 million, housing, $2.5 million, and telecommunications, $3.1 million. Dominica's Environmental Health Agency has cited the need for major enhancement of the city of Roseau. Senior Environmental Health Officer Sylvester Sandville indicated that the department will soon take to the streets as part of a healthy and safe Roseau initiative.
And there's a need to do some cleanup of Roseau. I think it's a worthwhile venture, and we are collaborating with other stakeholders and other agencies, government and non-government agencies, to see how we can tackle the refuse problem in Roseau. I mean, we may probably walk the streets and not necessarily see the refuse and see the garbage, but if you go inside some of the residential areas, we probably will get a rude awakening as to what exists within those communities in Roseau. So what we are embarking on is for the next 2 weekends, not this weekend, but the weekend of the 15th and the weekend of the 22nd of May, to see how we can collaborate with the community people, groups, to see how we can clean up, remove some of that refuse in Roseau, in the city of Roseau, make Roseau more ambient, more pleasant, more aesthetically pleasing for ourselves. And number one, we have a twofold objective: to make it more beautiful and to make it more safe. Because if you have a lot of garbage, a lot of refuse, a lot of debris, hiding places for rodents. We know disease can be transmitted by rodents, so we are embarking on that to make Roseau a little more beautiful.
Meantime, Acting Chief Environmental Officer for Dino Carbon says that is only with taking ownership that the city's ambience can be maintained.
We also hoping that with all that information we are going to be giving out there, we will have people taking ownership. Because the thing is, we are very slow in taking ownership of what belongs to us. This city is our city. And I think if residents can take ownership, that will help a lot in maintaining the ambience of the city. So we're hoping that with the education we're going to give, the persons will take ownership. So persons wouldn't say, well, the street's dirty, who's going to clean the streets? And everybody will try to make sure that the streets remain clean by playing their part.
In more news this morning, various libraries in Dominica are celebrating Library Week this week with a number of activities under the theme Come, Explore and Discover. The Roseau Public Library will commence celebration this morning by holding a story time hour for invited preschools today and information skills training for primary and secondary schools on Tuesday, reaching out to the prison and hospital community on Wednesday, hosting a career fair on Thursday, and interacting with the elderly on Friday. The Grand Bay, Portsmouth and Marigot cantors are also holding activities to observe Library Week. Tourism Minister Ian Douglas is recommending a tourism satellite account for Dominica. Dominica is observing Tourism Awareness Month this month. Douglas says the contribution of tourism to Dominica's economy needed to be recorded.
While we continue to say in the tourism industry that tourism contributed $197 million to the Dominican economy, that is direct tourism receipts. But tourism is so wide that there are so many other people that benefit from tourism. I mean, you have the farmers who sell their goods into the tourism product. That is probably not captured. We have fuel being purchased by taxi drivers. Most times that is not actually seen as an advantage that is gained economically in the country through the tourism industry. And there are so many other economic benefits that are generated because of the activities in tourism that are not really captured. So one of the things that I would be advocating, and I would probably speak to the Statistical Division and the Ministry of Finance, really, to do a tourism satellite account so we could see all the various satellites that benefit from tourism.
Dominica's Tourism Minister Ian Douglas. Ministers of the Eastern Caribbean states have approved the introduction of a new price cap plan for telecommunication services. The price cap is designed to regulate fixed services offered by Cable & Wireless, which operates under the brand name Lime in the region. It also offers a reduction in fixed to mobile rates over a period of 3 years. Ministers of the five-nation Eastern Caribbean Telecommunications Authority reviewed the proposal at a meeting in Grenada last week. And New Zealand and Pakistan played out a riveting ICC World 2020 Super 8 match at Kensington Oval over the weekend that produced a fascinating finish. New Zealand won by 1 run of the very last ball in a match that both teams desperately needed to win to take aim at a semi-final place. It was an enthralling run chase that captured interest from beginning to end as Pakistan went in search of 134 for victory against a determined New Zealand attack that featured quality fast bowling from Shane Bond, Kyle Mills and Ian Butler. The exchanges went back and forth, leading to the decisive final over that was entrusted to Butler. Salman Butt, the little left-handed opening batsman who kept Pakistan in the hunt in the face of a top order, collapsed with an unbeaten 67 off 54 balls, was still there at the end to take up the challenge. His approach at crunch time was the virtually swing at everything. Twice he connected the boundaries, once an authentic effort through points, that the other from an edge over third man. This was Pakistan's second successive defeat, and South Africa's victory over England in the afternoon match confirmed they would not advance in the semi-finals. That's the morning news and sports. Thank you for listening.